This is John Voquette with the Newtown Bee, and we're here at the Municipal Center with Health District Director Donna Culbert and First Selectman Dan Rosenthal. This is the next in our series of community outreach videos, our COVID-19 clips. And Dan, as we hit the next weekend in this public health emergency, I gather that you're really starting to see evidence that the community is coming together.
Sure, John, thank you. Yeah, it's hard to believe. I'm sure some of you probably think that it's seems like it's been forever, but it's been a little over 3 weeks since we really started to aggressively push the social distancing process. And you know, I've been expecting, certainly there are people obviously that are struggling, but while I anticipated a little bit more of perhaps a crescendo on our social services infrastructure, it does appear that residents really are helping one another. We have obviously done a lot of outreach with the folks that we have in our network, but I am seeing a lot of neighbors helping neighbors, and I think that's a wonderful thing. We've seen restaurants distributing food to people, you know, so it's really been terrific to see how the community's helping the community from afar.
Donna, in terms of numbers, just 2 weeks ago, a little under 2 weeks ago, we were at a single case. Single digits a week ago, now approaching and probably likely surpassing 50 positive cases in Newtown by the end of the weekend. Talk a little bit about support systems that are in place and how folks are promoting, protecting, and preserving their health.
Well, yeah, right now we're at about 47 cases, but I do expect that more will be coming up as the days go on. And I've talked to a lot of folks in the community. I can believe that there's many people who are well, many people who might be mildly ill or ill and recovering at home. I've learned that lots of folks have great support systems in place, whether it's friends, family, neighbors, church, our human services. So, you know, it's really great to see how much our community helps each other. The one thing that I kind of plead with people is to not get tired of doing the important work of protecting themselves and each other. It's going to be a while, but I think that if we persevere here, we're going to come out on the other side of this all right. And I'm as I have to talk to most folks over time, I'm kind of reassured at how good everybody is to each other, whether they know each other or not. I'm just always kind of reassured at how helpful people are to each other.
Dan, you had already previously talked about your frustration with seeing a lot of gloves being disposed on the ground in shopping centers and around the town, but I know you also have some concerns about masks and personal protective equipment and further minimizing out-of-house travel. What would you like to tell folks about that?
Yeah, well, I understand people are definitely scared, and I think taking as many precautions as they can. I do think that if you're wearing masks and gloves everywhere you're going, you really should be reducing your trips out. We unfortunately don't have, and we have had some requests from the public for personal protective equipment, but we're we don't have unlimited supplies of that, so we are preserving that for our first responders. And we're also encouraging people to help the folks that are on the front lines, our healthcare workers, with whatever PPE gear they may have. I do think that as we look to, now that the governor's latest executive order goes into effect, I believe tonight, on the reducing the number of people in grocery stores and some of the other essential businesses, I think it's important people should be reaching out to their neighbors, seeing who needs what, and trying to make trips, organize and have one person make the trip. Don't go into each other's homes, deliver things to the front porch, but to the extent we can sort of share that load and limit our exposure to each other, I think that would be an important step to take at this point.
And masks, folks can sew their own.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's I know that there's been a lot of stuff in the press over the last few days about wearing masks when you go out. My advice would be, certainly there's a lot of tips online how to make them if you don't have them. It's just not, it's something that's certainly a very precious commodity at this point, and we don't have the luxury of being able to supply those to the public. So, I'm afraid we're preserving those for our first responders.
This is John Voquette with the Newtown Bee, continuing to report here in Newtown 7 days a week at newtownbee.com and on our social network sites on Facebook and Twitter. This is the next in our series of COVID-19 clips, our community outreach messages with Health District Director Donna Culbert and First Selectman Dan Rosenthal.
Thank you, John.